Okay, I hear you. What do I think about homosexuality? I haven't been talking about homosexuality. I don't particularly like talking about it. I don't know all that much about it, but you're asking me, so I will tell you. I have a sneaking suspicion that you're asking me not because you have a general interest in views of sexuality, but because you've made your mind up and you've decided that I'm a bigot. So you're really asking me, why are you such a homophobic bigot? The issue of homosexuality or sexuality in general is the shibboleth issue of our culture, meaning it's the issue by which people discern whether we're nice and liberal and kind and good, or whether we're nasty right-wing reactionaries. The question is the when did you stop beating your wife question. So I'm glad you asked, because I want to answer that by asking that we go to a bigger context. See, I want to ask you, is there any form of sexuality that you would consider would be wrong? And you're an intelligent person, so you're going to say, well, yes, of course, bestiality or necrophilia or pedophilia, they're wrong. And then I'm going to ask you, how do you know that? How do you know that they're wrong? 20 years ago, most people would have thought, homosexuality, it's kind of wrong. But now, if you think that it's wrong, you're wrong. You're clearly beyond the pale. Can you imagine what's going to happen in 20 years' time? What if the zeitgeist changes? In 20 years from now, if bestiality is considered fine, would that make it fine? Would you accept it? And are we really saying that it's only society that determines what right and wrong is? Is right and wrong really that flexible? The Christian view is that homophobia of any kind is wrong. Why should we be afraid of homosexuality or homosexuals? Now, I know the word homophobia is used in different ways, but we accept that it is wrong. I'm going to make a confession. I'm a Christian, so I believe in God. And that shouldn't be too much of a shock to you and too much of a surprise. And I want to say I'm an IKEA Christian. Other furniture stores are available. This is not an advert. What I mean is this. I pick up my flat pack chair and I take it home. I count out the screws. I look at everything that's supposed to be there, and if there's one missing, I go back to the store because I follow the maker's instructions exactly. What does God say? Well, he created us male and female. He created us as sexual beings, and he created sex to be within the context of marriage. So sex outside marriage, whether heterosexual or homosexual, is wrong. And he created marriage to be between a man and a woman. This is for the good of society, for the upbringing of children, for mutual companionship, and so on. Now, you might immediately say, oh, wait a minute, I don't agree with that. That's wrong. I say, okay, fair enough. But I need you to tell me why it's wrong. I don't need you just to say that it is wrong, because I have a certain advantage on my side. This is the view of society, which has, or of marriage rather, within our society, which has been the bedrock of our culture for over 1,500, 2,000 years. What are you going to replace it with? Because I think you're free-flowing, do whatever you want, who cares about sexual? I don't think it works. And here's my other problem. You may disagree with me. I want to see your evidence. What you are not permitted to do and claim to be reasonable is say, you're just a bigot for thinking that. Ironically, by condemning me for having a different view from you, that makes you the bigot, not me. We follow the maker's instructions. You just want to make it up and follow your own? I'm sorry, you're going to build a very shaky house on very shaky foundations, and it will completely collapse. He's given us the instructions that are best for us and for our society collectively as human beings. So for the good of society, for the good of humanity, let's just stick with what God has given us.